you're watching a scene and there's blood in the scene, okay? Do you, like, suspend your belief for a minute and say, this is not tomato juice? You don't make that effort. You just go for the ride. Anybody trying to analyze art in terms of science is a fool or an autistic person, okay? But you don't analyze science in terms of art. They are effectively two domains of behavior. The problem that we have today is that the domain managed by science is vastly smaller. I'm a statistician, so look at numbers. What we can manage by science, things that we do for which we have scientific evidence outside of papers, are very small. And when I talk about science, I don't talk about Einstein relativity, because that's what gets the press. I talk about every day, how many papers do you have? You have millions of scientific papers, okay? Millions of things with false beliefs held in them. Science is a fight, not against a scientist, to convince a scientist, but it only improves when scientists die. Giving a bad name to religion because they can't prove or disprove their statements, okay, is using terms that are completely bogus when you have complete incompleteness of information. Finally, I repeat my point I made earlier about the mind abhors a vacuum. I'm citing Jon Elster. If you remove religion from our mind, what are you going to put in place? Tell me.
What are you going to put in its place? And I'm going to answer that one first. What we're going to put in its place is secular, rational morality, where we treat each other with respect and listen to each other's ideas and don't let anybody use any holy text as a trump card, as an argument winner. We're going to do this the way we've always done it. Yes, there's been huge change in religion and in science, but look at the difference between how this has happened. In the case of science, we've used the scientific method to refute theories that were good tries but were mistaken. And the very fact that you're comfortable sitting in this building and you aren't afraid the roof is going to fall on you means that you know how secure scientific knowledge is on literally thousands of topics. Maybe not on economics, that's Nassim's specialty. But setting that aside, how has religion proceeded? First of all, I point out to you, there's not a person in this room who would live by Old Testament morality, who would live by the Ten Commandments as they appear in the Old Testament. None of you. None of you. And why? Because over 2,000 years, people have decided that that's not really the right, those aren't really the right moral answers. So what's happened is that we, working together, have adjusted our thinking. And we've decided that slavery is wrong. We've made lots of adjustments to our morality, and we're going to make more, no doubt, in the future. And because we are going to be the ones that make these adjustments, we will be responsible for them, and they will have much more hold on us than if somebody says, well, we got that from one of the holy texts. Well, so what? So what? If it's what we all agree on, that's what matters more. Where are we going? Why is there anything rather than nothing? How did we get here? Science can answer some of those questions, and to the extent that science can, religion has now fallen in place pretty well behind. Although there are still bizarre outbreaks of just plain ignorance, for instance, about evolution. Shmuley, you really should read some of the fine books out there. Your ignorance about evolutionary biology is simply breathtaking, and you have no business saying the things you say without knowing more about the relevant science. In particular, the idea that evolutionary biology renders morality somehow crude, and there's no such thing as love, or there's no such thing as justice. That is just a calumny. That is just a bizarre caricature of the truth. The way theology has evolved over the years is not by changing in response to evidence so much as in thinking, well, now, what can we possibly